Hi, Cancer. I hope you guys are doing really well. I want to go ahead and get into a reading. This is October 2024, a month at a glance. So we're going to go through the weeks here. And there's also astrology energy that's associated with this as well, as always in life. As this month is starting here today, this reading is actually being done on the 2nd of October, which is essentially, we're going into a solar eclipse right now in Libra. So there's an opportunity for new beginnings to happen. This is going to affect your commitments, the additions that you might want to incorporate within like your family planning, family extensions of your family, expanding different things. This could also talk about like where maybe you want to move, so there may be some sort of like consideration of how moving to a new location or how moving to a new job or situation might affect the expansion of your life right now. But new beginnings are very highly suggested here and supported. Also, too, Mars is in Mars is in Cancer all month long, and this is also talking about like, especially like when it comes to home projects or situations that are held very closely to us, or held like our cards have been held very closely to us. It's like moving things forward that have been like addressing things that have been kind of in a position of analysis paralysis. It's talking about moving forward with certain things. It's talking about, getting the ball rolling and not being stuck on these opportunities or these life goals that we have suppressed. Here it's like, no, let's push a little bit harder so we can actually make something happen with this. And it is supported for you, especially with this eclipse in Libra, because this energy is changing. It's asking for new beginnings, but it's also asking for you to commit to new beginnings. So if you're holding your cards close to you, or if you haven't decided to, take a leap of faith on something, it's asking for you to get out of that stagnancy and make a decision, make a choice here. Your oracle card here, Cancer, is to the sea. This energy talks about being in flow. It talks about trusting the ebb and flow of the universe, of being connected to source, recognizing how puzzle pieces fit together with you and people. It's also talking about like patterns that you've seen in your life that you want to change. And making the changes that are required to have that energy shift. It's clarified here by the Five of Pentacles. Oh my goodness, my voice is going. It's clarified by the Five of Pentacles, Cancer, which can talk a lot about like, it can talk about a lack mindset. It can talk about not trusting opportunities. It can also talk about not having enough stability in your life to make a decision, but sometimes the decisions that we have to make have to be made regardless of whether we have, support or resources. Sometimes we just need to jump into the fire and make something happen. It almost feels like there's a lot of deliberation here, Cancer, with like any type of forward movement right now. It's like we're kind of in this analysis paralysis, snug fit, very tight, not moving, and we need to expand here. In the first week, you have the Lovers here. This is Gemini energy, and it is clarified by the High Priestess here, Cancer. This energy is interesting just because this can talk about coming together with people, wanting to connect in a deeper way, but it almost feels like that's suppressed as well. It feels like we don't have the I guess the drive to connect with somebody, or we want to, but it's like we're weighing things up in a very strategic manner. And I feel that that is also an element of this analysis paralysis, where it's like you're getting in your own way of opportunities actually blooming, of situations growing, and so it's asking for you to get out of your head and trust your intuition to move forward with something. For some of you, you may be in situations where it's like there may have been um, a realization of patterns in the relationship, patterns within toxicity, patterns within a lack of foundation, a lack of funds. Maybe somebody is coming from a very lack mindset in general. It doesn't have to just be about finances, but the energy is one of being able to see through the situation with a certain lens of clarity and also a certain lens of compassion. What we do with that is up to you, but you have a broader understanding of the situation here. And in this first week, this may just be on your mind. You may just have a lot of heavy processing to do when it comes to your emotions, when it comes to connections and relationships in your life. And maybe there are people that we're separated from, because here it's like we have this card of secrecy. We have this card of going within. It's a silence with this energy, so there's a lot of contemplation here, a lot of contemplation of patterns, a lot of contemplation in how situations fit together, how people fit together, and how we can be in flow with one another. Okay, so that is moving forward within this first week. It's almost as if we're trying to figure out how to make room for something here, and how to commit to something and expand on something. But I feel like there's some sort of either history or patterns that need to be addressed before things can change. The second week here, you've got a lot going on in the second week of October 2024. First, you have Jupiter retrograde in Gemini on October 9th. On the 11th of October, Pluto goes direct in Capricorn, which is in your seventh house. And then also on the 13th of October, Mercury is in Libra. So let's start with Jupiter retrograde in Gemini on the 9th here for the second week of October here. This is asking it's like reviving old things, old projects, situations that you may have put on the back burner that are now being revisited. This is opportunities that maybe we didn't see the value in, or maybe we were not seeing the whole picture, but now is the time to breathe life into them. Now is the time to I guess make amends with how we viewed something in the past, whether we didn't see its value or we didn't see that we didn't have the gumption to do it. Now it's get into it. And that's also in alignment very much with this Mars in your sign here this month, Mars in Cancer. It's get the ball rolling, light the fire under your butt, make the decision, make it happen. It's kind of breaking up the stagnancy and the I don't want to say laziness. It doesn't feel lazy. It just feels avoidant. Okay. But yeah, there's some unseen opportunities that are coming to light here in this second week that you can take advantage of. You can breathe them into life, into action. This could be job oriented. This could be relationship oriented. It is clarified by the Knight of Cups. So whatever has been kind of taking a back seat, try to put it up in the forefront to see what you can do with it, because there's something about these things that still have meaning, and they can actually have a lot of opportunity moving forward here. Pluto going direct in Capricorn in your seventh house in the second week of October. This is interesting just because it's going to talk about the seventh house is about our relationships, the people that we're in love with, the people that are in closest proximity in our lives. This can talk about family, roommates, partners, the closest people we work with. It's all of that kind of close-knit energy. But here in the second week with this energy with Pluto, it's talking about transitions. It's talking about finalizations here. And so there's finalizations of situations that have maybe been held onto for a long time. We're either not letting them go, or maybe situations with people that have presented in negative ways. They've held on and they've maintained that energy without change. And now it's we're trying to pull back our energy from integrating with that anymore, just because it feels like we've kind of been enmeshed with that stuff for too long. and it's like we need to pay attention to the people who allow change so that we can accommodate those people. We want people who want to change. We want people who are integral, or they live within integrity. They want change. They want to face the new with us, and so people that have kind of been sticky in these situations that are not moving, they're very fixed in how they operate. They're very fixed in the lack that they provide. They're fixed in their patterns. Here it's asking for us to be very mindful on how we disconnect, because it can talk about releasing people, situations, energies that are just outdated and not in harmony with our energy, things that are manipulative towards us, things that are toxic and deceptive. These all need to go. And it feels here like you're opening up an understanding of those things that need to go. With the sun in reverse, this can deal with situations that are either guised as a misunderstanding. You can be burnt out by people who have just been in your life so much that their flavor and the essence that they bring into your life is always questionable. You don't see the truth in it. Like there's always this sort of like inflated ego, or like some level of insincerity that like kind of underlines their connection with you. And it's asking for you to pay attention to that. It's asking for you to see these people at their core for who they are, especially if these are people who will break promises, break engagements, agreements, situations being left unclear with them. It's like they take you for a fool, or they think that you're either gullible or naive, and it just leaves you in a sense of like depression, because it's like gaslighty. It's problematic, and it's needing to have the light turned on for it to be seen so that you can release it, because that type of energy to uphold those relationships leads to burnout no matter what. So that energy is coming through to be purged and cleansed, and it's asking for you to be very honest in what people provide, and maybe even how you show up in connections as well, where you need to revise your energy, where you need to be honest and sorry, I can't hear in my mouth. You need to be honest. You need to be true. What you say is what you do. Your word is your bond. Here, it's almost as if like we have the opposite of that, and we're kind of tired of it. Yet we still have people trying to persuade, trying to give, try to, ensnare in a certain way. And we want the people that are real. We want the love connections that are honest. Here it's almost as if like it kind of comes cloudy. So just be mindful of that. On the 13th of October, Mercury goes into Libra. It's talking about like your connections, your family, your friends, stabilizing and boosting your connections with these people. This can also talk about financial gain as well through these connections. Your home situations also being very connected to this, may like your home, the funds that you share with the people in your home, your roommates, your partners, all of these types of people. It feels like things are starting to balance and be put towards the home. There's an opportunity for things to grow in that direction, where things can actually be a little bit more playful. They offer more room to grow. They offer more time to play, and have fun and integrate with others, Pardon me. I need to pause this just for a second. I need to grab some water. Thank you. So, yeah, in this second half of the month energy, you do have Mercury is in the sun. It's moving into Scorpio, which is your fifth house of love and romance. It's energetically here, Cancer. This is asking for us to strengthen the relationships that are in our lives through communication. It's asking for us to be very clear with Mercury, like through communication, through expression, through experience being, shared with one another. There's a kind of like a meeting of the minds, or at least like we need to meet in the minds with people. that are closest to us, and this is how you're going to strengthen these connections, and be very present with these people. It's less like emotional and more cerebral. Like bonds get deepened here, with Mercury in the fifth house, where it's like you communication and good and honest communication really helps to strengthen your bonds. It really helps to strengthen your relationships, and strengthen everything. With those of you who are like single, or you're looking for love and stuff like that, this could be connecting to people who share a lot of like similarities, or like you have a very similar like life view, or like you have shared hobbies or shared interests, or like maybe you speak a different language, and maybe it's like you connect on that. Like maybe it's not your language of birth, but maybe you speak a language and you're like, oh, I speak French too. Oh, you speak Japanese too. I do too. There may be some sort of like connection point here for those of you who are looking for romantic connections. And I would say also in the second week, be mindful that like we have to be available to opening ourselves up. Sometimes here with the sun as well, this can be worried that, a situation or a person, it's like we have so many similarities, like we start to try and nitpick. We'll like nitpick a person, or worried that, what they're presenting is not real, or like, it's just too good to be true. It's important to take that mindset down, because we're having a different way to think about things now, and we're going on evidence versus fear, and we're going on data versus fear. And the patterns that we've experienced before in the past, yes, they may have had a lot of validity and they may have had a lot of meaning, but that was of the past. And for us to kind of hold our future and potential connections under the gun with the past is unfair to them. Allow them to blossom and bloom in the way that they are presented. And also within this whole energy, nurture them. Nurture them in the direction that you want to go in. The people that are supposed to be in your life will move in that direction. The people that fall away will fall away. That is just the way it is. So just be aware of that, okay? Yeah, in the third week here, Cancer, you have the star in reverse here, clarified by the strength card in reverse. That's interesting, just because like with the star in reverse, it's almost as if like there's certain, like giving up hope on a goal, or like giving up hope in regard to certain things. But this is also like an energy of uh like kind of self-deceit, not seeing opportunities for what they are, not trusting in your own talent, not giving yourself the opportunity and chance to actually be seen for who you are. It's almost as if like we're kind of like in this restrictive energy. It's like keeping yourself small, And so in this third week here, especially with strength in reversed, don't be afraid of your passions, maybe kind of, you know, sit with your urges and your desires to move forward in a bold way, and make sure that they're solid before you just jump into the fire, but be fair to your desires as well. Be fair to wanting to be seen. Be fair to growth. Be fair to the healing that can take shape in your life, because it feels here there's something wanting to keep us small, or we're wanting to keep something small about ourselves, or not come out of the shell. And it's restrictive in a lot of ways. It's like, why not choose to be seen for who you are? And if you don't like who you are, why not change who you are so you can be seen for who you want to be, who you can become? There's a lot of shift that happens here. Um, and it feels here also, even just by saying that, it feels like you might be overwhelmed, you know? For some of you in situations with people where it's been very deceptive or very uncomfortable, it feels here, it's like there's an element of being afraid of being dominated by these people, or taken over by these people, steamrolled by these people or a person. It's very evident that you need to keep your own position. You need to keep your own autonomy in how you view yourself, and how you choose to not be enmeshed with people who don't have your best interest at heart. And in the third week as well, you have full moon in Aries on October 17th, which is going to affect your 10th house of promotions, status, career, your financial increases in your life. This is also potentially like, it's interesting because it's like we're talking about what we are, but then it's like you have these opportunities where you can move forward in a new career role. You can take advantage of a new career opportunity. But with this, it's almost as if like you're not seeing yourself in a strong position, or like you're doubting yourself here in this third week, and it's asking for you to just trust the process and start to feel better about who you are and what you actually present. And again, if you don't feel solid about that, do what you can to change it, because it's entirely up to you. Okay. How people perceive you is through your actions and what you provide and who you are and how you show up. If you're not liking it, and if you've had a history of people judging you because you've been da 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 da, change it. You can change it. Look at yourself and change it. Either way, though, there's new opportunities that are coming into your life, especially within a career and financial sense. And I'm afraid that, like, if you don't see your worthiness, your value, you get in your own way. Okay, so try to trust yourself and push past the worry, push past the self blinders, and move forward into something new, because it's asking for you to embrace this, because there's good things happening. It's just you're very shut off here in this third week. And in the fourth week here, you have the Two of Swords with the King of Wands. They both came out, and then you have the Ace of Swords clarifying. The Two of Swords is energy that talks about a decision to be made. We're in decision period in ourselves. We're not expressing, we're kind of quiet, and it goes along with this kind of stagnant energy. It's a decision to be made, but we're not making any type of communication about it. We're keeping it to ourselves here. And this fourth week energy, this is going to deal a lot with like your reputation, sixth house energy with your routines, your organization, a lot of like the situations in your life that maybe where you are in a spotlight position. Here, it's almost as if we're avoiding that. Here in the fourth week, it's like you get some clarity in the matter and you move forward. It's like you're taking opportunities for what they are with the King of Wands, and you're moving forward with some sort of like personal sense of freedom and awareness. It's like you have a bit of courage during that fourth week, where I think here there's been a lot that's been weighing on your mind and your heart, and it's almost as if it has like a cumulative effect in how it suppresses your attention to being in a stronger sense of self. It suppresses you pushing forward, to become more. And that's kind of a personal challenge, Cancer. Like, you get to challenge the security or the false sense of security that you hold yourself to. A lot of us will restrict ourselves in certain ways, or a lot of us will maintain certain relationships, or especially with the star in reverse, this can talk about like upholding like a guise, or like upholding false status, or like a false sense of appearance to others, but inside you're nothing like that. It's kind of like the idea of like, oh, the crab is so tough and they've got their shell, but if you like crack them open, they're just mushy goo. It's like, what appearance are you upholding that is false, that is that is causing you to be unclear with the quality and the I guess the power that you actually hold, your own personal sense of power. As I feel here, there's a lot of like worry and restriction, but it's causing restriction, and it's causing avoidance, and it's causing like all of these situations to be on hold, where we need to like actually push forward here. So yeah, especially within finances, a lot of you, I feel here, there's an element where it's like your finances either need to be worked on very considerably, and you have this opportunity right now here. You have these opportunities here where it's like all of this whole month, and even moving forward, you have the energy to get the ball rolling and to shake off the dust and to actually like get things moving in a different direction. It just requires your effort, and it requires your attention to detail, and it requires your honesty to step into bigger and better shoes, bigger and better positions. And also that also may mean a different sense of self, trusting yourself in a different way and morphing into a new you. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys. I hope that this is helpful. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, and if you want a personal reading, contact me at thealtruisticmystic@gmail.com. My info is in the description box below. I love you guys. Bye.